everyone, welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to do something with tags and masterboards. But before we get into that, I want to clarify a bit more about the giveaway that I'm doing. Friday night I've posted a giveaway video for my first 500 subscribers. Thank you again. We're already over at 525 at this moment, the moment of filming. So oh my god, it's going so quickly, it's mind-blowing. So thank you all, thank you. But yeah, that was my first giveaway ever, obviously, or it's still going, but I messed up on multiple occasions, to be honest, because I totally this is the worst for me. I didn't properly thank Natalie in my video for donating the kids the prizes, and I was like, why are you so stupid? But I did reach out to her before posting it. I was uploading the video, and what I do once it is uploading, and it's after it's uploading, you still need to wait a little while, and then you can still watch your video before actually posting it. So I was watching it again to make sure that everything was okay, and then I was like, you don't even thank her properly. Why? That's not like me at all. I mean, you've seen more videos that I've done and I've thanked her in the past. So I didn't want to sound ungrateful, but it felt, I don't know, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. And I contacted her and she's like, oh no, it's fine, just post it. And I'm like, are you sure? So I posted it. When she said it's fine, I posted it. And then I said, are you really sure? Because I felt so stupid for not even thanking you. But I was so excited and I was a bit nervous, and I've shot that video like, I don't know, 4 times or something, and I kept messing up. So I was happy that I made it to the end of the video. And she said, yeah, I did notice, but you know, it's fine. So yeah, but for me it's not fine. So thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much for donating kits to me to give away in my 500 giveaway. That's very, very kind of you. But then what I also I kind of misunderstood, Natalie kindly addressed me to it, that I mentioned that the winners, once the winners are known, that they need to contact me, and that I somehow need to send them the files of the kits that I'm giving away, because I own those kits as well. I've purchased them, and some I have gotten as a gift. One was for the guest design project, so the grunge kits. 4 of them I have received, and 2 of them I've bought, and then the other 2s I've won actually myself. But that's not what's going to happen. If you are one of the winners, what you need to do is you need to go over to the line.arrow Etsy shop, and then you need to press the button that says contact seller. Then you can leave Natalie a note or a message. You can tell her that, hey, I am one of the giveaway winners from Yurima or from Paper Yuri, and I have won first, second or third prize. And that's all she needs to know. And then she will send over the files, because it is, let me be very clear, I'm only being able to do this because Natalie gave me consent in giving away her kits. But yeah, like I'm very new to this, so I really want to do this right. Do not give away kits from other creators yourself without being 100% sure it is okay. I cannot even give away freebies that are from Natalie, because it's her freebies, right? So I want to really do this properly, so there are no misconceptions or anything. So I'm not going to give out the kits. I will forward the winners to Natalie, and then the winners can contact Natalie herself. So I hope that's clear. I will also talk about this again once the winners have drawn. And then, is there another thing that's important to know? I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So without further ado, let's continue on with the actual project. I will use timestamps. because yeah, this is going to be a long intro. We are going to make a masterboard. Now, I have done a few masterboards in the past. Let me grab them. The first one I did was with antique papers and book pages, but that didn't work out because it started breaking, and yeah, I was very frustrated. Then I did another one, and I've used thinner paper, and I've used book pages and thin papers, lightweight papers that were scrapbook paper, but then lightweight. So no digitals. There's no digitals on this one. Yeah, there's no digitals here. Also, I didn't really have much for scraps. These are actual scraps from years ago when I did the scrapbooking, and I've stopped the scrapbooking a long time ago, but I've kept the scraps for a very long time because I had a 12 by 12 scrapbook paper box, and my scraps were in there, so there weren't even a lot of scraps either because I hardly did any crafting. But yeah, I really like these. But yeah, you can see this is the antique paper. It sort of tears, so you need to be very mindful when you use antique paper. I would stay clear from antique paper. Now, I don't know why I struggle so much with masterboards. These are supposed to be the easiest thing you can do. And I've watched many videos when I just started out because this is beginner friendly, but for some reason, I don't know. Now there's nothing wrong with these. They're just very stiff because I've backed them, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with these. I just need to decorate them first. But I just wanted to show you that I did masterboards before. But this was all before YouTube, and I haven't had a chance to do some crafting for my own. So yeah. So we're going to make a masterboard. Now I have a piece left over. You need strips. So grab all your strips. Now I have used, where is it? I've used this. This is an index page. I think it's 120 grams in weight. So just grab a lightweight paper or medium paper. I think 120 grams will be good. You can always back them with, like I did here, with some coffee dyed paper or with some cardstock with lines, or these are backed with tags like these. I backed them with these tags. So yeah, you can back them later if you want, but do it on as light as paper as possible because you might want to fold it. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't fold this because this is too heavy. This will break. So these, if you want to use scrapbook paper and strips like this, please use yeah, thinner paper, I guess. Thinner scripts. Now, you could use your digitals. You can use digitals, but I'm going to use water because I want to use watercolors. And I'm not sure how the ink of the printer that you're using will react to water. Now, I have an inkjet printer, and I think it will turn out not like the way that I want. So I did try with digitals. I tried a small piece, and I thought it'd be a good idea to put gesso, like the clear gesso, on top of it to create a layer, a work surface that allows me to use water. That worked. I could use the watercolor pencil then, and my digitals were fine. But as soon as I started stamping, that's where it went wrong, because I'm using a pigment ink, and the ink did not want to dry. I kid you not. I think because I had an entire different project. I was going to do masterboard labels. Total disaster. I had to throw everything away because it wasn't even salvageable. Ink on the, and this is the gesso that I'm using. This is the Finnabar Art Basics Gesso Clear. This is what I used. But as soon as I stamped on top of the gesso, the ink did not want to dry. It did not want to, it took like almost a full day, and then it was bled out everywhere. The ink was bleeding out everywhere, so it was ugly, and it was a mess. But I don't own archival ink. So you could try using archival ink, because I've heard that archival ink dries very quick. I need to get myself some archival ink to test. But if you do have it, test it out and please let me know if it works or not. Archival ink on gesso, clear gesso. Because that way you can use your digitals and still do the watercolor. Of course, you can also use, you can also decide not to use any mediums, but for the grunge effect that I'm going for, I really needed to use mediums. So yeah, that would be the only way. And I thought I was being clever by using the gesso, but unfortunately I didn't know that my ink wouldn't work. So I had to start all over again. And that's why I went for scrapbook paper, because this will not bleed with water. Okay, so yeah, you need watercolor pencils. I am using some that are, I think, similar to one of the Tim Holtz crayon, distress crayon packs. I think these are the similar tones. Oh, I used this one as well. So these are the ones that I'm going to use. Now, these are very expensive watercolored pencils. These are very pigmented and these are very easy to use because of that reason. But you can use any watercolors. Any watercolors you have, you can use. Also, if you have the normal watercoloring stuff, like the tablets that you need to add water to, like the small squares, or it doesn't even need to be artist grade, but the better the quality, the more pigmented they will be, the better they will work. It's just, yeah, that's just like that. I have these expensive ones because I actually did a lot of adult coloring back in the day. I haven't done it for, yeah, I haven't, yeah. I have an Instagram page for that. It's Yurima Colors or something. Yeah. But anyway, I did some coloring. So I own some expensive colored pencils and I wanted to use the watercolor pencils again. So yeah, watercolor pencils. Then we need stamps. I have used my Tim Holtz stamps. I've used eccentric and I've used field notes. But of course you can use any stamps you want. You don't even need to use stamps. If you don't want to, you can use something else. I used these, the strips, the number strips of Tim Holtz. And this is the only things that I've used. So just the scraps, the strips, and then something to back it with. I used eyelets, and I've used stamps, and I've used the watercolor pencils. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. So yeah, let's show you the end result already. How cool are they? And how different are they? I mean, wow, right? And it's all grunged up with the watercolor pencils. So yeah, but I really like how they turned out. Oh yeah, I also used ground espresso. And I've used a sanding disc to sand the edges. That's why the edges are white. Or white-ish. Look how cool. And it's so simple. This is simple as in you don't need much. You only just need, you need, yeah, it's a scrap buster. I think it's called a scrap buster. You use your scraps and just a few stamps and tiny embellishments. I only used one embellishment on all of them. And it's more than enough. Oh, there's one more thing that I used. I used mica powders. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a sheen to some of them because I've put some mica powders on it. Yeah, sorry, that's the only thing. But that's optional. You don't need that. Not necessary at all. Oh, I love them so much. I love them so much. So yeah. Oh, the only thing that went wrong, when I woke up this morning, the E disappeared. And I think it's because there used to be a tiny bit of glue there, which I have wiped off. But the ink didn't really dry. Let me see if I can... as you can see here, The 6 didn't dry properly and almost disappeared as well. So that's what happened to the E. The E was completely gone. So I stamped it on a white piece of cardstock, and then I just cut out the E and glued it down. That's how I solved it. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. So yeah, that's fixed. So that's it. This is what we're going to make. So without further ado, because I've been talking way too long already, I'm going to wish you all a nice day. Thank you for watching. I hope you will enjoy this project. I loved it. This is really, really fun to do. Trust the process, because there will be a stage where there was a stage where I was like, oh, is this really going to work? But yeah, it works. Just be patient, be careful, try it out on a small piece first to see what works for you. So yeah, without further ado, enjoy the rest of the video. Bye! Sorry for the really long intro, but it's now finally time to start the actual crafting. I am starting in a corner of this piece of paper. This is from a vintage atlas I own. It's an index page, and I think the weight would be around 120 grams. I'm starting to just randomly glue down the strips, and I am then alternating the directions. So after I've placed a strip or between 5 and 10, I'm going to alter in another direction. And I do this because I really like the herringbone pattern, if you know those wooden floors. So this is basically inspired by that. So I'm just going to continue gluing the strips down. And then every once in a while I cut off these corners. The reason I do that is sometimes you need a triangle shape. So if you cut the excess off, you can use those corners for places where you need them. Now the masterboard is done, and I'm going over with my bone folder on the back side to make sure that everything is glued down properly. I then trace out a big tag shape, and I used a Tim Holtz stencil for that. And I'm going to cut it to size with my paper trimmer, not looking at the front yet. I am then going to glue down 2 tag shapes. These are left over from my lapbook project, and also I'm going to glue down 2 manila tags that I've got off Chimu. I'm going to glue them down with Mod Podge because I think that might be a bit stronger than the glue stick, and I have it, so I should use it more often. I am then going to mark the circles where I need to make the holes, and I'm going to do that with my crocodile, and I'm going to do that on all the tags. They are now all backed, and I am going to use these hole reinforcers from the manila tags as a template for the other tags, so that I know for a fact that the holes will be in the middle. Then I'm going to ink around all of them with some, I think I used ground espresso, yeah. And I'm heavily inking because I really want to grunge these up. I'm also going to glue down anything that is not stuck down properly with some art glitter glue. I'm going to do some stenciling here and there with the Tim Holtz stencil. I'm doing that on all the tags. I'm not doing anything on the back side. Reason for that is because I don't know if they will be turned into journaling cards, or yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use them for yet, so I decided to keep the backs plain. I am then going to work with the watercolor pencils, and as you can see, I also did some sewing around this tag. In the end, I changed my mind about the sewing and I will cut it off, but you will see that later in the video. I am then going to randomly color places on the tag where I want the grunge effect to appear. I am going for a rusty look, so I'm going to use some turquoise as well and some orangey, but I'm just going to do the coloring first, and then I'm going over with some water and blend everything out, and also blend everything a bit together, if that makes sense. I'm using quite a bit of water to do it, to spread it out more messy, I guess. I mean, if you go over it just once, it will be too neat. So, and I really want a messy look, so that's why I'm using a bit more water. That's also one of the reasons why you could better use heavy paper, because if you use really thin paper, a lot of water will make it buckle, and that will not be good for your paper. So yeah, this is the first, I wouldn't really call it a technique, but there's multiple ways that I'm going to show you how I use these. As you can see now, I am also going to splatter with the pencils by using a very wet brush and just flicking over it. You don't really see it that well on camera, but they are really, really tiny and really nice splatters. I really like how it turned out. Look how grungy that is. It is very, very dark right now, but once it's dried up, it will mute down a bit. I am then going to use another technique or another way, and that is by going over the pencil tip first with my brush and then put it on the paper. I like this technique a bit more because you can work a bit more messy. I think the orange looks way more like rust here than it does in the other one. But this all takes a bit of practice. To be honest, I haven't done this before. I suck at watercoloring, believe it or not. I have tried, I do adult coloring, and I have tried this before, and I don't know how to use watercolors, but using it in a messy way is way easier. And it's so much fun, it's liberating. The tags are now all gone. I really like how they turned out. And I am then going to use the mica powders. I'm just going to wipe it on with my fingers on different spots, and I do that on all the tags. And now it is time for the stamping. I'm going to stamp in the same direction as the paper strips, so I am going to stamp diagonally on all the strips. Well, not all the strips, I will leave a few blank, but I will not stamp straight. And the reason I do that is, one, because I really like the diagonal look. Is that diagonal? I think so.
I also don't want to risk the stamps not being stamped properly because of height difference in the paper sometimes. Last step of the tags is to add a number strip by Tim Holtz. I'm going to place one on each of the tags. And I absolutely love this project. This is so fun and it's really easy. It's really easy, and it does take a while, but it's beginner friendly, I would say. I only don't like the tag with the 3 on it. The middle strip is, didn't really want to use that stamp, but I decided to do so anyway, and I regretted it because it's too, I don't know, it's too blurry. You cannot really tell what it says, and that will be fine for just the background, but in this case it looks like a big black mess. So yeah, I wish I didn't do that, but it's fine. So I decided to just glue over one of the strips and make it less apparent. And then last thing I do is go over with some ground espresso, not everywhere, but just on certain spots, and make it really dark, and that will add to the grunge effect. It will also give a bit more depth. And these are the tags as they are now. And the last thing I will do is grunge them up on the corners. Of course I did a bit of inking, but the edges were a bit too neat for me and for this style. So I decided to mess up the edges with my scissors. And then I'm also going over with my sanding disc. And I will not re-ink them, because I actually don't mind the white. So I was almost going to ink them, and then I changed my mind, because as you can see here, it actually doesn't bother me. It looks so cool, the white. And it's not really white, it's a bit of a creamy white. So I was fine with that. And here I cut off the threads, and I like it better already. And I'm going to do the same thing on this tag, to stress the edges. So I hope this video encouraged you to make these as well. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy this type of smaller projects. I want to do some bigger projects again in the future, but that will be after my holiday. So for now, I hope you guys will enjoy the smaller projects. I will try to give as much variety as possible. I'm also trying to make some content for when I'm on holiday. I don't know if I will be able to do 2 videos a week, because I'm also making my normal content, so I will do my best. I hope you like the end result. I sure do. I want to thank you all for watching again, and I want to wish you all a very nice day. Bye!